Hi everyone, my name is Elena. Welcome to my channel. Today, since we are either almost at the end of the year or we have started 2025, I wanted to talk about one big change that I'm going to be making for my life, which is a low buy year. If you've never heard of a low buy year before, it's essentially a way to reset your spending habits and focus on intentional purchases and cutting out unnecessary overconsumption. So think of it as hitting pause on mindless shopping and play on more intentional spending habits. So this idea of sort of simplifying my life and my spending habits is really exciting to me. I felt a little out of control with spending and just overwhelmed in that sort of regard. So I'm creating this challenge for myself to feel more in control of my life, as silly as it sounds. So I'll be talking about why I'm doing a low buy year and my rules that I'm going to follow. And I do want to apologize. I am getting over a cold, so my voice normally doesn't sound like this. So hopefully it's not too annoying, but we'll see. So over the past year, I've been noticing I've been spending so much money on things I don't need and also things that I'm not even sure I want. For those of you who don't know me, which will probably be all of you, considering I have 0 subscribers, I am a software engineer, but I quit my job in July of 2024. And since then, I've been unemployed and overjoyed. And it's been really difficult to find a new role. Luckily, I have a fiance that, can support us for the time being, but I really need to start making changes financially just for our own household and family. Yeah. But other than that, I just have way too much shit, like so much, and it's overwhelming. It's ridiculous, and I need to make a change like yesterday. I'll buy makeup when I already have enough to last the next decade, or I'll get delivery when I'm too tired to cook, or I am too lazy to go out and pick it up. And while those things give me that hit of dopamine, they don't make me happy. They don't help further me along to my goals, and more often than not, they're just such a waste of money. Every unnecessary purchase is something that I now have to manage, to store, to figure out what to do with, and it's just such a big source of guilt. I want to free myself from that cycle. I'm also trying to free myself from the shackles of overconsumption. So things like TikTok and Amazon and things like that they're designed to make you feel like what you have isn't enough, that you need this one thing to make you be happier or be more successful or be hotter. And I fall into that trap, and I don't just fall into it, I jump in feet first every time. Buying those new leggings or the new Stanley Cup or whatever will not make me happy. This cycle, it has to stop, not just for my wallet, but also for my mental health and the storage of my house. So a lot of people start these challenges at the beginning of the year, and everybody does it a little bit differently, which I think is great to cater it to your own spending habits in your own life. So here are my rules for my low buy year. So rule number 1, no new makeup, skincare, or hair care. The only exception of this is if I completely use something up. So when I'm completely done with my shampoo, when I'm completely done with the foundation I use every day, when I'm completely done down to the last drop, then I can repurchase. If I have backups, I have to use that first. I've done boxes subscription boxes like BoxyCharm and Ipsy, and those are great, but I have so many items that I have not touched and that I will never be able to get through unless I'm purposeful about it. So I have to finish the thing. If I have backups, I have to use those next, and then only after am I able to repurchase something. Pretty much no new anything unless it's refilling something. I don't care if it's on trend, I don't care if it's on sale. I've been doing makeup since the 5th grade, so I would hope that I can be creative and use what I already have. And yeah, it's kind of exciting to shop your stash, if you will. Or I'm gonna pretend like it's exciting until it is exciting. I have so many products to work with and it's time to use them and free up space in my bathroom. Oh my God. Rule number 2, no new clothes. So this one comes with a few exceptions. So if I'm replacing something that I have completely worn out, not just it's getting a little bit older, but like if my running shoes are completely worn out on the sole, that's not something that I can fix. So it's time to repurchase those. Even with like the rise of fast fashion and things not lasting as long as they probably should, it is very rare for me to actually wear out my clothes. So I'm using my clothes until I cannot use them anymore. If it's something that I don't have already, so maybe one day I will share my closet, but I'm a shopper. I love to shop. I love to shop with my mom. My mom loves to shop. My mom loves to buy me clothes. So I just have this ridiculous collection of things that I do wear a lot of the pieces in it, but I don't think that there is a single garment, unless it's something that is completely new and on trend, that I don't have something that is in that category, if that makes sense. I have enough graphic t-shirts, I have enough tennis shoes, I have enough jeans, I have enough of these things. So if it's something that I already have, I am not allowed to repurchase it. So I don't want to restrict myself too much because I know who I am, and if I restrict too much, I will absolutely binge on a shopping spree I can't afford. So I am allowed to buy things, but it has to be intentional. So allowing myself a smidge of freedom will hopefully help with that. The next exception is if it's something that I can't already make myself. So I got a sewing machine for Christmas, and even though I am still completely brand new at it and not very good yet, most things won't most things will fall into this category as I continue to learn how to sew. I'm hoping that if I find something I like, I'm sure that there's a pattern for it and I'd like to try to make it. So it's probably higher quality. I can get it in a pattern or a fabric that I really love, and it's something that I'm making with my hands, which always feels good. And then finally, if it's something I can't pay off immediately. So I use my credit card for everything because I utilize the points and the benefits for that. But if it's something that I know that I will not be able to completely pay off at the end of the month, I am not allowed to buy it. Like, there are no further exceptions onto this. If it's too much money for me, it is not meant to be. Additionally, I'll be challenging myself to style my wardrobe in new ways. I started to use this new app called Index, I think it is, where you take photos of your clothes and you can style them. And I really want to start using that. So one, I know what I have, and two, I can see everything and I can put things together in a way that feels new and fresh, so I don't feel stale with my clothes, and so I don't feel the urge to go out and buy something. Rule number 3, no delivery at all. This was a much bigger problem when I had my job. We would get delivery 2 times, 3 times a week, which just feels ridiculous to me and my family and my life. So absolutely no delivery. If my fiance wants delivery, that is his prerogative. It's not coming out of my checking account, so that's completely fine. But if I want fast food, if I want something that I'm not making, I have to go and pick it up. My laziness usually wins for that, so I'll only go if I really, really want something. So again, it kind of gives that flexibility of I'm allowed to do it, but I probably won't as much as I think I will. So that'll save me a lot of money. Rule number 4, use what I already own. So I already talked about like clothing and beauty stuff, but I am a crafter and I am a craft hoarder, particularly yarn. I crochet, I'm learning how to knit, I'm learning how to sew, I like to do embroidery. So the good thing about that is that I have a lot of skills that I can use to make new clothing, make new accessories instead of buying them pre-made. But I have a really hard time finishing a project. I don't get happiness from finishing something. I am so much more excited when I start something. I have so many half-completed projects that I got bored with and wanted to start something new, so I did. So I have so much yarn and, like, again, half-completed sweaters and scarves and whatever. So I am going to try to finish the projects I want to finish, frog or dismantle the projects that are no longer my style or no longer seem fun or interesting. And I am only allowed to buy supplies for a new project once I have finished a project. So yeah, I'm hoping to really thin out my collection or my stash because right now it's giving hoarder. Rule number 5, no buying books unless I read what I have. I also have quite the collection of books. I collect cookbooks. I love to read. I do book of the month every single month. And although I'm pretty good about reading what I have, it's not great. So I am going to try to not buy any new books. If it is a book that I really want to read, I have to check my library and I have to check Libby. If it's there, great. I can wait forever for that to come in, that's fine. If it's still something I really want and it's not on Libby or at my library, I have to go to a local bookstore. So no supporting Amazon if I don't have to. Rule number 6, I am tracking my purchases. So for everything that I replace and everything that I just buy outright, I am going to be tracking that progress so I can see if this is working, see what's not working, and also hopefully be sharing my progress with you as I go through this challenge. And finally, rule number 7 is be kind to myself. So this is super hard for me to do. I do have just like a little bit of a shopping addiction. It is how my mom kind of soothed me when I was sad. Like, hey, you wanna go to Kohl's? Hell yeah, brother, I'm right there. And that has created a lot of problems for me as I've gotten older and have more money than I did as a child. So I know that I'm not going to be able to follow these rules perfectly, but there's no such thing as failing this challenge. I'm allowed to make mistakes. I'm allowed to pick myself up and move on without feeling guilty and without breaking myself down. So if this sounds interesting to you, I'd love for you to follow along on this journey. I'll be trying to share updates here on YouTube and my other socials as I live my year. So the highs, the lows, everything in between. So yeah, I would love to have you here if this is something that's interesting to you. Also, if you're doing a low buy, a no spend, low spend, whatever verbiage you're using, I would love to know what rules that you have that you're trying to follow. The more guidelines for me, the better, so I don't find loopholes for myself. So let me know in the comments. I'm super curious. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me as I take on this challenge. Please like and subscribe if you feel like it. If not, that's fine. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm sure my stage presence is close to 0, so no harm, no foul. So here's to a year of intentional choices and no frivolous spending. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.